Let's go east, across the country, to Pittsburgh, to cross the Monongahela, to cross the Allegheny River, to cross the Pittsburgh River, to cross the Allegheny River, to cross the Pittsburgh River, country, to cross the
You've probably heard something about Pittsburgh, the city that built America, the city that built a chair, the city that built a chair so hard, the city that built the world, a chair,
the city where a chair saves your spot,
the city that fell so hard. And now, Pittsburgh, the tech powerhouse, Pittsburgh, the culinary wonderland, the city that's big and small and approachable and amazing all at once. That's us, all of it. And this whole time, we've always had one chair, and it's not the one you're thinking of. This chair is stronger than steel. It comes from learning that you can't wait for opportunity, you have to create it. And that the only way to prepare for the future is to work together and build a chair yourself. We're loyal to institutions. Loyal to the chair. Not just change, improvement. Not just for some, all chair. We're not sitting back, enjoying our chair. We're forging ahead, setting the stage, sowing the seeds to grow a chair. We're building something special here. A chair thinkers, makers, dreamers, and doers can afford to be bold. A place where bright minds and youthful energy come together to put down roots. A place where big things happen and big problems get solved every single day. And just wait till you see what we do next. Then again, you don't have to wait.
Hello! Welcome to the Highwayyys Variety Stream, episode 3, focused on the future. Tonight we're going to be hanging out with some amazing musicians, gonna be prophesizing a little bit, making some guesses as to the future of pop and rock music, and watching some cool videos as well, sci-fi inspired videos. This is my last event with The Alternative. For the last 15 months, me and several other people have been organizing a weekly live streaming concert series called Streaming Sundays. And this is my last one. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be done. But to be honest, once again, I'm the Scrooge of the situation. And bah humbug, I have to say, because the music industry is getting back into gear and announcing tours and things, and I just see the same problems that the music industry had repeated. And it's a bummer, and it happens in the DIY community too. So tonight, hopefully, we're gonna collaborate and imagine some better futures for the music industry together, maybe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, up next, we got some Glass Beach. Heck yeah. Wait. Before we go, I do want to say thank you again to the many people who helped me organize this event. The headliners for the last 2 episodes, David Combs of Bad Moves and Maddie from World's Greatest Dad. In the last 2 episodes, I was visited by a series of ghosts. And there doesn't seem to be any ghosts right now, just this Pittsburgh, burned out wreckage of Pittsburgh here. What could happen? What could happen?
take me with you. I'll keep breathing. You look so cool in the starlight. You look so cool. When the bombs fall, take me with you. I'll keep breathing. You look so cool in the starlight. You look so bombs fall, take me with you. I'll keep breathing. You look so cool in the starlight. You look so I can't take the pressure, yeah. Everybody thinks that you just need to grow up. I know it's hard, it's fucking impossible. Trying to make sense of the things that you feel now. The Spiro and Astra from Voodoo. What the hell do you think that'll do to you? I won't say shit, even though I know you want me to. I know that it's hard, but I swear I still love you. I can't take the pressure, cry in the bathroom floor when you look in the mirror. Cover your neck or they'll cut your head off. Jay, you're only cute with your hard eyes and legs crossed. But the things you think when you're out of your body or yourself outwards, stay hopelessly lonely and don't leave the city and don't leave the covers too. I know it's hard, but I swear I still love you. I'm never gonna understand. I'm never gonna understand. I'm everything you think about her behind her back. The whole truth doesn't hurt to say you love her like a son. The world could kill her just 'cause she can't fit in so dangerous, and they leave no room to breathe in the space they carve out for us. And they get inside your head, give you white lies and black eyes, and they try to change your shape and tell your sense of self dies. But you made me feel like I'm out of my body. We ran out of words, say we're hopelessly lonely. So don't leave the city, please don't leave the covers too. Just stay here, babe, let's live life like lovers do. I'm never gonna understand. I'm never gonna understand. I'm everything you think about her behind her back. The whole truth doesn't hurt to say you love her like a son. The world could kill her just 'cause she can't fit in right.
Hello and welcome back. It is wonderful to be here with the fine people in the audience, the 40 gosh darn people watching right now. And we are here with Willow of the Sonder Bombs. Hello. So we had originally planned to read some tarot together. My wonderful friend Hal from Baseball Dad was going to read some tarot, but was unable to make it. So everybody, you are all obligated to go and listen to Baseball Dad right now. And we may read some tarot in a few moments, but I think for now, the plan is to do some fortune telling of our own. I think we are in one of my favorite. I'm glad I found this. This is the cover to Martian Chronicles, I think.
Okay, so we're on Mars?
We are on Mars, I believe. Yeah.
Oh.
Exciting stuff.
Okay.
Exciting stuff. Where are you?
I also on Mars.
You are also on Mars. Excellent. Thanks for calling in from the Mars cave. We got.
This actually is not.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a little buggy.
AT&T coverage is doing all right.
Thanks, Elon Musk.
Yeah. Thanks, Daddy Musk.
Oh,
I'm so sorry I said that. I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. Cut him off.
Well, I have some thoughts about what's going to happen in the future of music. Honestly, I'm a little bit pessimistic as the music industry starts up again. Are you surprised?
Oh, why?
Because it's a fucking nightmare. The music industry is a nightmare. Yeah. Oh, wait, we got no fucking... I do this every time. No audio from you quite yet. The audience did not hear you. I know. I betrayed you.
Can they hear me now?
They can hear you now. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've done that like
no, it's
8
okay.
times.
I forgive you.
That's this. They're gonna start calling that the Harrison because of.
Oh my God,
how
yes.
often I do that.
When you Harrison, when you like leave yourself on mute.
Yes,
trying to
you leave.
FaceTime.
You're having a very, very interesting conversation with a talented person, and they're on mute. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So the music industry is a nightmare, as you suggested. But I do think there are some good things somewhere. You know, I think there's some hope. I think music is cool, even when humans fuck it up with the business of it. So
Yeah, I mean, there's like so much amazing music that's been coming out through the whole pandemic.
Yes.
And I feel very grateful. I've never been this much in love with music before.
Cool.
I've never been this deep in love with music before.
Oh yeah, whole new level of love for music for you. That's cool.
Yeah.
I can't.
And I
wait.
don't care if that sounds corny, because that's why we're all here. So
Yeah, I'm corny as fuck. Like these events are corny as fuck. So, I wanted to ask you. You've mentioned as we were setting up a number of bands that you think could be the future of pop and rock and emo and whatever. So, when you think about the future, what do you think of? Are there any names in particular that come to mind, or any like ideas in the next couple years? Anything you think is going to be very successful?
yeah, I guess when I think of like the future of music, I think of like music that feels timeless to me. You know, music that's coming out now that's going to be timeless and is going to like
Yes.
influence future music. And yeah, I mean, first one that comes to mind, because I've just been like listening to the new record on a loop the past like 2 days, is Rosie Tucker.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah.
Like-
Every time I listen to it, I get something more from it.
Yeah. And the production is so cool. Like, it's so fun to listen to. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like Rosie Tucker is one of those artists that's.
Yeah, Rosie's songs are going to be amazing
Yeah.
10 years from now. Rosie's songs would have been amazing 10 years ago. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree big time.
Yeah.
What was your experience with Rosie Tucker before this album? Anything?
Well, so we played, I think, a show. Well, yeah, we played a show with them at South by.
Cool.
I can't remember which showcase it was. I believe it was the No Earbuds, and
That
like
sounds
Get
right to me.
Alternative one.
The duo No Earbuds
Yeah.
alternative.
I think it was the duo one. But we played with them, and I think that not this record that just came out, but the one before it had just come out. And I think I really wasn't that familiar with a lot of their music until a couple days ago, and now I'm like obsessed. And I'm like, holy shit, I should have been listening to this for way longer.
Yeah, I think the alternative staff got it right. They voted Rosie Tucker's last album of that year before I was even on the staff, and I think that album is excellent as well. So I can't wait till we can hang out and jam Rosie Tucker together.
I know. I need to dive into their older stuff.
Yeah, non-binary fucking freak out to Rosie Tucker music.
Oh my God,
great.
yes!
Yeah, cry a little bit. It'll be wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds nice. I'd love to cry with you.
Yeah, I can't wait to cry with you. Let's go. I want to talk a little bit about your new album.
Speaking of crying.
Speaking of crying, yes, one of the lead singles, "Crying Is Cool." It is a terrible time to be releasing music right now, and I'm sure it was hugely stressful for you. But now that you're on the other side of it, what excited you about the process of releasing the music? What was the best part of it?
Gosh, I don't know. Like, it is not a bad time, but a challenging time to be trying to like release music and promote an album. And I was like thinking about this the other day, like, I'm very grateful, as stressful as it was, like I'm super grateful to have been able to like have the record to work on the past year and have something to look forward to all winter long. Like,
yeah.
I always like literally just the release date of Clothbound like saved my life so many times, just to have that date and to hang on to it, you know? Because releasing an album, it's simultaneously like the most wonderful experience and the most horrifying experience. And I mean, like it's our second record, so I feel like there's always a lot of pressure on bands to, I don't know, like not necessarily one up, but at least have their second record be as good as what people think their first record is. I don't know, it just seems like a lot of pressure, and I was really stressed about it, but
okay.
It was fun to make the record, though.
Yeah. And I think having that release date, looking forward to, it reminds me of how I thought about this show as well.
Oh.
Like, just looking forward to it and looking forward to having some fun with my friends and chilling. We only got a couple minutes left. I have a digital tarot open in the browser. Do you want to do that real quick, or you want to do some kind of like lightning round about prophecies about music in the future? What do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think let's do the tarot. Let's just read it together.
Cool.
I think that'll be fun.
Let's do it.
I don't think tarot is like my thing necessarily.
I have a book somewhere. But we could also just Google it. We could just Google whatever the hell the card means.
Where did you go? You just disappeared. There you are. Okay.
I love the thing scrolling across the bottom. You're watching fortune telling with Willow from the sun. Like, I am not telling any fortunes right now.
We're fucking fortune telling. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We're telling some gosh darn fortunes. All right, let's get you on top. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Hello.
Right? Do you like being on top? Don't answer that. Please don't answer. I'm so sorry I asked that. I miss you so much. What the fuck,
I love
Willow?
you so much. You're one of my best friends.
Let's pick these 6 cards. Okay, do you want to pick one?
How many do we have to pick?
6.
How much time do we have left?
Oh, like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to pick a whole bunch.
Yeah,
okay.
Just whatever. You know what? This is a chaotic fortune, and that's okay.
Get my reading. Okay.
The Tower. Is that a good one?
That's not good. That's like a very bad one.
Oh my God.
Famously
yeah, that doesn't
bad
look good.
One. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how music... this is a tarot reading for the future of music. And apparently music is not feeling so great about themselves right now.
No, wait, scroll down. There's more cards. We'll pick a nicer one.
What you want most right now.
Oh, that's good. The star. I like that one. I'm a star.
Star's cute. Suggests that what you want most in this time is good fortune and a bright, happy future. Sounds right?
Yes.
Music industry fears. The high priestess.
Music industry fears.
Everything. Every moment of my life. You were feeling uneasy and insecure. Something your gut is saying, be careful. All is not as it seems. Uh-oh.
Wow. Could that be any more? Sorry.
Wow. Wait, you're trying to embrace the fact that these mean nothing, essentially.
Yes.
Okay, good. Me too. What is going for you? The sun is shining on you. You will feel confident.
I got a sunburn today.
Hey, there you go. Coincidence? I don't think so.
No.
What is going against you? Justice. Things just aren't going your way. The music industry is not working out. The likely outcome, Wheel of Fortune. Expected life to change and quickly.
I don't know which one to pick.
I think, no, that's the whole reading. It's a 6-card reading. That's the whole thing.
Well, it was about 50-50.
You'd say it was like pretty accurate?
I don't know.
Somewhat accurate?
Sure.
Hell yeah. Cool. I can't wait to see you. Maybe some music in my backyard before the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Let's hang out and play some instruments now that the world is back. Thank you so much. I will see you soon.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time. We got a beautiful music video from Illuminati Hotties right now.
Know just what you're getting into.
And we're back. We're here with Sarah from Illuminati Hotties, talking new music.
What up?
Thank you so much for being here. I love
Thanks
this
for
music
having
video.
me.
Yes, definitely. I love that music video so much. So it was a reference video at first, right? Was that the idea? Was that always the idea, to reference voodoo? What's the song?
Yeah,
I forget what the song is.
It's called Untitled, parentheses, How Does It Feel?
It's a great music video, an iconic music video, and I recognized it pretty quickly in your version. But of course, you take that very slow-paced, kind of smoldering music video and turn it on its head. And when I first saw it, I just started, I had got a giant belly laugh. I just started laughing so hard because it was so unexpected. So congrats.
Good. Well, thank you.
What is going on in your life? How is California treating you? I know it's a difficult time to be a musician. I know that's a hard pivot, but
it's good. It's good out here. I'm lucky that I've been able to keep up production and mix work pretty solidly through the pandemic. Obviously, I'm, remiss that touring has not been happening, but everything else has been really good. It was kind of a nice reset button, obviously, I feel pretty lucky to be able to say that. But I think there's been a couple positive things that have come out of, sort of the stop that happened to our hard stop on the world.
Yeah. Your album from last year, Free IH, not the one you've been waiting for. One of the Alternatives' favorite albums of the year, and definitely a treat and a surprise in the middle of a very glum year. So thank you for that. I initially heard that album and I did not understand it at all. I was just confused. And the more I listen to it, the more I love it. I think you were tapping in to a lot of things that people were feeling in the middle of the pandemic. Content bedtime comes to mind. And you use the word non-essential before essential workers was a thing, right?
Yeah, well, essential workers have really always been.
They've always been there.
But the album was written in February, end of January, most of February. So by the end of February, I had everything tracked. It basically was turned it around in about 3 weeks once I realized gosh, crazy stuff was going on. And by the time it came out, the pandemic was well underway and had been going well past when we thought it would end. So there was some sort of weird, like, coincidental references that were unexpected and were, hopefully came out like it meant it like kind of had a double meaning, but it was feeling particularly important when I had written it even. So I don't know.
Yeah, an excellent album. I think there's a definite different mood and song structure and tones than your first album. And
yeah,
I'd like to get you, now that I have you on the record and live here, what's your feeling about tender punk now that you're using tritones and all sorts of weird rhythms and abrasive kind of attention demanding songwriting?
Yeah, I still feel very tender punk. I think that there's something, I think, part of it is my own insecurity and like hoping that I'm a real enough punk to be considered punk, but also, what is punk? And then also, I still think there's a tender heart to it. And even when it gets quite boisterous, I think that my personality and my sort of the soft parts of me are still sort of a part of that record. Yes,
for sure. On Free IH, definitely. Not a lot of sensitivity on this new single, though.
No.
Can I ask, I think a lot of your songs seem to have a biographical influence. Is that something you were thinking about writing this new single? Or Moo? I guess it's called Moo, right?
Moo, yes.
Just Moo. Good.
Yeah, I think that when I like to say, don't let truth get in the way of art, and I think that there's when you make art, you can always sort of like color outside the lines and fudge the borders of what's happening, and you can make a very hyperbolic version of your personality or yourself. And also, I think that there is realness to it, and there's a lot of stuff in my soup as a person that just comes through no matter what.
Yeah, it does seem like something new compared to the first album, particularly, I think, though. The really excellent drums and bass parts as well. I didn't have time to write down your band members' names. If you want to shout them out, I was going to.
Totally. That's Tim Kmet on drums. He plays with us live, and he's been probably the longest member of Hotties other than myself so far. And then Zach Bilson on bass. And we'd been playing that song out quite a bit before I recorded it, so they definitely had their parts locked down, and it was really fun to record because it was just one of the ones that didn't take as much in studio creativity, and it was just kind of like play it as great as you can get it, which is always a real treat to record that.
I think it has that immediacy of a live song or a song that you've played live a lot. It's so cool. Mm-hmm. It's so cool that you use those clean guitars at the beginning with those. It's like a panic chord type thing, right?
In the beginning?
In the beginning, yeah. Isn't it that weird? It's a melodic thing that I don't know well enough. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. Totally. It's all tritone. It's like a riff that's just tritones and serial, and like like the guitar is I wanted to sound like a really shitty like rubber band kind of guitar.
It sounds so heavy, but it sounds like you plugged a guitar straight into a PA or something, like no amplification. It just sounds like kind of thin but still so heavy because of that tritone. I love that. Totally. And then you go into the more grunge-y power chords. Well, I want to take a couple questions from the chat, and I wanted to ask you about the imprint as well.
Cool. Yeah.
What does the imprint mean for you? What are you excited about with that?
I'm really excited just because I feel like I have, complete creative control still, whilst having the support from a much larger label who really believes in me as an artist as well as like a curative force and a producer, and I hope to be able to sort of make my own roster eventually, based on my own taste and based on bands I'm working with or bands that I love that I'm not working with and that I want to work with.
Hell yeah. That's exciting. Yeah. I assume you have some plans coming up in the next couple months, but artists who are excited to work with you, any advice or any place they should reach out? Or is that going to be a year or two in the future before you start considering new artists?
Yeah, I think a DM is a great way. I have like a production email address that's on my website just as Sarah Tudson, and I honestly don't know it offhand because it all feeds to my email address, but there is a way to reach me through my website as a producer. And I think that the imprint will take some time to sort of build and figure out exactly what's happening, and it's going to take some planning for sure. But definitely just as like a producer, a mixer, engineer, whatever, like love to work with new bands, love to work with old bands.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what y'all build in the future. No questions in the chat. So any prophecies about the future of pop and rock music? Anything you're waiting for the ball to drop? Like, I think pop punk is going to be huge this summer, for instance.
Yeah.
Willow Smith already dropped that single. Anything you're like...
pop... Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Anything you're thinking
punk,
about,
that I've seen a lot of that online, on TikTok, which is really cool. That's, I think that's music that I grew up with and that I love. And, I think that there will be a boom in music that makes people feel really good. Like, I think first we're going to hear a lot of records that are very introspective and very built in amongst the worlds that we've sort of been living in isolation. And then after that, I think once we get back out on the dance floor, like, there could be a whole just revival of straight ahead bubblegum
Hell yeah.
fun music. I think that would be awesome.
Bubblegum disco meets hyperpop. Can't wait. Is that
Yeah.
is that going to be the 4th or 5th Illuminati Hotties album? Maybe, who knows?
Totally. Yeah. That's that's gonna be it. Is Illuminati hyperpop.
That sounds great. I can't wait. Thank you for being with me here today. Thank you for doing a live interview where live broadcasting is always an adventure. So thank you for taking the risk
Thanks
and the
for
plunge
having
with
me.
us. And I
Of
hope
course.
we cross paths again soon in the future. Congrats on the new single.
Later.
Congrats on the imprint.
Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
My name is Gordon, and I play guitar and sing in Downhaul.
And my name is Robbie, and I play guitar.
Awesome. And I'm Scott. I'm the host of Fly on the Call, and I'm coming at you with Gordon and Robbie from Downhaul, as they just said. So I'll probably edit this out. But so yeah,
Leave it in.
I guess I wanted to start with Eyesight, which was the first taste of Proof before it was officially announced, and kind of along with that, you dropped the classic, recording in the studio video with it. And now that I've have had time to like really sit with the album as a whole, I appreciate kind of using Eyesight to usher in that new sound and kind of the album as a whole. And from the video, it seems like it was a pretty intense and emotional recording process. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about how the album as a whole came together.
Robbie, you can take that one.
Yeah. Well, speaking to the video, like I think video is something that we've heard from everyone that likes Downhaul or is involved in Downhaul stuff, is that they always wanted a music video, and we're just like not a music video band. Shouts to anyone that is, like, that takes guts, and that's just like not who we are. So when we were like, okay, we'll give you a video, we'll just have our good buddy Connor from Nonfiction and Cemetery Tapes come to the studio for a few days, get some footage, and just like stitch that together. And I think it came out really awesome. He did a really great job with the video. But I think the other thing that it did was it highlighted sort of like something that we were like very proud of with the album, is just like the process in the studio, and just sort of like how much fun we had and how hard we worked. And I hope that came across in the video. So I think it was sort of fitting that it was that. Like, I know that they're like, the song Eyesight is not about being in the recording studio, so thematically it might not seem like a great fit, but I just think it all does work together well. And like to your point about sort of it being a good entryway to like the album as a whole, like that was pretty deliberate as well, because I think it's a good sort of like meeting point between what people may have heard from Downhaul before and what we're doing on the new album. So it's 5-minute song, so it's not like typical single length, but I think it was a really good sort of like entryway into new Downhaul 2.0. And like sort of a good sort of bridge as well. So like, if you listen to Leverage and then you listen to Eyesight, like you may sort of pick up on a lot of similarities sonically and just like thematically, and like the ideas that and how we like constructed the song, which wasn't like super deliberate, but it came across when we were writing it. And then we sort of realized that this is just sort of like what we wanted to do with Leverage. And I think it came across really well. And like, I think I put this out on Twitter that like when we like were listening back to that song, like I mentioned to Gordon in the car on the way home, I was like, man, I kind of like choked up, like teared up in the studio, and he was like, dude, I did too. Like that was just like a very rewarding experience. And so like I'm glad that was the first song that people could hear from the record.
Nice. Yeah, and Standing Water being the official album release drop. It's that's one that's very closely linked with college years and where you lived during that time. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about how kind of how that came together, and what you hope people draw from these specific vivid descriptions of these places that so kind of intimately.
So Standing Water has like an opener kind of feel to it. I think it has to do with like that big major like descending kind of sure-footed chord progression. It's like the 1 7 6 5 4 5 4, something like that in terms of the theory of it all, but it has a very big like driving sort of pulse to it that lent itself to kind of like an announcement feel. But it didn't exactly have the scale of an album opener. So it made a lot of intuitive sense as like the start of the B-side of the album. And also we could use it as the announcement single without like giving up too much. But to answer your actual question, I guess my hope with that song, other than selfishly to kind of like put all of these sentiments and like places into a time capsule, was even for people who haven't been to that area in Virginia or anything like that, could kind of read into it their own connection to places they've been or places they've lived, not just in college, but like any time of life where you come to a new area and you live there and then you move away. It's like a very romantic thing, and it was easy for me to kind of like re-inhabit those spaces, not just geographically but kind of emotionally and sentimentally.
For sure. And the final single for the album is going to be Dried, which kind of makes up this really big 1-2 punch of the album's intro, kind of spanning the first probably quarter of the album. Can you talk a little bit about kind of that one and what people can expect from when that one drops?
Well, my initial reaction is bear with us, because it starts with like 70 seconds of noise and music, right? There's no vocals for some time. But I think that song, Olivia, who's our publicist, shouts out, made like, she's always like making memes and sending them to us, and she's the best. But she did one that was like, is this the best bridge? Is it even a bridge? I was like, you can call this a bridge. And then she was like, okay, so like Dry Bridge versus Architect Bridge for best downhaul bridge. And I think the bridge to Dried is like, I was trying not to do that. One of these like really overly wordy like verses that I always do, where it's like a bunch of like 4-syllable words, 5-syllable words, like no pauses, nothing repeating, like band hits underneath. Like whenever we were talking about that song and assessing it, we were thinking like, this is the song that sounds the most like old Downhaul, is kind of like what the four of us were thinking about that song. Especially if you were to like chop off the end and chop off the beginning and make it 3.5 minutes long, like that could be on another release. But I think what kind of makes that bridge so big is like, it's one of the few times I'm playing chords on the baritone guitar across the album, and it just like comes at you. Like sonically, the way Chris arranged those things and EQ'd it and layered it, like when those baritone chords start in the bridge of Dried, like you can't miss it. So don't turn the song off until you get to the bridge.
Yeah, and just sort of like adding to that, I remember Dried coming along pretty late in the process, and so by that time it was we were working more remotely, and so when we were demoing and sort of like left to our own devices to write our parts, I had a little bit of trouble with that one because the first part of it and the most of it, like Gordon's baritone is doing a lot of work, and in an atypical way to the rest of the album. So I was like used to writing a certain way, my parts at least, for the previous songs that we had written, and then when it came to that one, I was a little bit intimidated by it, and I think I was able to sort of and something that I tried to do for a lot of the songs was not make it sound like it was two guitars. And like I think on the first album we got caught up in just like all of this crazy guitar work, and like it may not sound like that crazy but it was crazy for us. And so for this album and for Dried, like I really wanted to make it sound sort of like as like one thing, like, and it wasn't so much of like left guitar, right guitar, like it was just sort of like the sound of the album, like the palette of the song. And then like the middle parts, I think really, to Gordon's point about it being like a lot like the old material, I think that first, when everything drops out and it's just like Pat playing bass and then like the keyboards come in, like I think that's like one of the other first big moments of the album where you're like, okay, like this isn't the band that I'm used to hearing. And I think that was really rewarding to hear back when Chris sort of put it all together. And then it sort of wraps up with, tried and true Gordon Bridge. But everything around it, I think, is just sort of like, it's indicative of the direction of the album. And 6/8, which I love, back to writing in 6/8. So I love a great 6/8 song. So that was really exciting for me personally. And I'm, it could have, we were talking about putting that song out as their first single, but I think it works really, really, really well as the last little taste before you get the album. Because like it sounds like Downhaul, but it's very much like rooted in like the new Downhaul. And it's just like a really great song. And like I think it by the end of it, you're just sort of like slack-jawed a little bit, just sort of like, wow, I don't even know what just happened, but I think I like it. So yeah, I think it's a good single choice for that reason.
And welcome back. We are here traveling the far reaches of space and time with someone. I don't know. My Zoom call just got hijacked by this stranger here. Hello and welcome, I guess.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
I'm Bone Skull.
Bone Skull. Okay. I know nothing about Bone Skull. This is new news to me. So tell me something about yourself and how you ended up here, if you'd like.
I'm Bone Skull.
It seems like your skull is a bone,
Yeah.
and you have a sword. And are you perhaps related to the fact that the members of Glass Beach have gone missing or seem to disappear during their performance?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You have no idea. Okay, well.
Never heard of that.
Well, thank
Plastic
you.
Beach?
What's that?
Gorillas?
I can't understand you, unfortunately.
Gorillas?
Gorillas, the band Gorillas.
Yeah.
Glass Beach is not dissimilar from Gorillas, I guess. If that's what you're asking.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. You like the Gorillas, though.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, now that you are here with this fine audience, first of all, I want to know if the audience has any questions for Bone Skull. But I want to know what the fuck is going to happen in the future. I'm feeling like a Scrooge about the future of music right now and where things are headed. You know anything about that?
Yeah, it's all going to hell.
Are you like, is this a prophecy or is this, you've seen it happen?
Yes.
This is a prophecy. Okay, cool.
This is my prophecy. You may write it down.
The prophecy from Bone Skull is that it's all going to hell. We have a couple questions in the chat. So,
Yes.
Bone Skull, what's your favorite Bionicle?
Red guy.
Red guy. Okay, cool. Jonas Newhouse asks, "Hi, Bone Skull. My question is why?"
Why did you disappear?
Just why?
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
I thought Jonas disappeared as well, so I don't know what Jonas is doing in the chat, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Or
It seems like
about disappearing. I don't know.
Why just one sword? We have somebody asking why you don't have two swords.
I don't need two swords.
That's fair, yeah.
I already have a sword.
If one is enough, you know? It always made me think that Darth Maul was, like, not as good because he had to have the cool lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't you just use one lightsaber? And then who was General Grievous had 4? That's 3 too many lightsabers, personally.
More like General Greedy with lightsabers.
More like General Greedy. Oh, we got a some kind of, is this a second sword? That appears to be a umbrella, which could function as a sword, I suppose.
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. So you got your 2 swords. Till V. Are you happy now? 2 swords. Is that for cooking purposes, or what do you do with that sword?
I just like to hold it. Feels good.
Feels good. You don't. You're not.
My jewel.
A jewel. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for giving me my jewel.
Is this one of your assistants, or Skullbone, your brother, or who is this?
That's somebody who doesn't play guitar in Glass Beach.
Oh, okay, cool, excellent. Yeah. Thank you for the jewels. Someone who doesn't play guitar in Glass Beach. No such thing as too many lightsabers, says Amanda Starling of Angry Girl Music of the Indie Rock Persuasion. It seems some things are going on here. What do you do? So you're not a violent person, is what you're telling me. You don't tear people down with that sword.
No, I just kind of hang out.
You just kind of hang out. Okay. Well, thank you for hanging with us. We'll take a couple more questions from the chat, and then I'll bounce on into the future. Thank you so much, Bone Skull. It's Ralph asks, can you say chaos control?
Chaos control.
That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool thing to say. Where do you think chaos control ranks on the like tier list of like cool things to say?
You know, I think it's chaos is kind of the opposite of control, isn't it?
So it's a clash of forces.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I like the contradiction, you know? The juxtaposition, you know?
Contradiction is cool, yeah.
I would rank it, yes. I'd rank it.
Pretty high?
Yeah, I'd rank it.
We have, are you related to Skull from Power Rangers? I also want to know if you know Skeletor, who's my favorite skeleton.
You think just because I'm a skeleton, like I know every other skeleton?
I mean, I don't mean to be rude. You're the first skeleton I've met.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know many other skeletons. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was insensitive. Thoughts on Skeletrix and his Bone Brigade? Skeletrix? Skeletrix.
Skeletrix.
I think that's...
Yeah, I'd rate that.
Yeah?
I'd rank that.
Good shit?
Yeah,
Bone Skull, what are your rats' names?
Hell, Suffering, Torment,
Wait, what was the third one?
Torment?
Plummet. Hell, Suffering,
Torment.
Torment.
Yeah, I do also have one named Plummet, though, but I'm not talking about
cool.
that one right
Plummet's
now.
a pretty good name as well. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for...
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for a nice conversation. My first ever conversation with the skeleton, and it was quite pleasant, I would say. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank
I'll
you for having
see
me on
you.
the show.
I'll see you next time. Bone Skull.
Here you go, Lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're floating in space.
Hello, everyone, and we're back. I am here with some real humans, skin suits, no skeletons. And these are the members of the band Really From. And it's so wonderful to see your faces. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. It is going well. Yes, I feel like the last time I saw you all might have been South by 2019 or something like that. I have been lucky enough to listen to you play in my basement as well as Roboto. And consider that sounds about right. Yeah, 2016, 17, somewhere in there. It was not a great basement for shows, no. It was a good show. Yeah, I'm glad you had fun because I was actually worried. I was like, oh my God, if I were... Like, you all are such amazing musicians, but you still love the basement shows, right? Is that... You're still attached to it, or what's... You're not descending into any basements anytime soon? I have a 810 sitting in my garage that a band convinced me to get, and then they kicked me out. So they very, very politely... What was that? I heard you recently bought a synth, right? Do you want to talk about it? I'm curious. Go on. What is going on? Oh, you have it. Okay. I don't know if Zoom... Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Sander, we can't really hear you, unfortunately. I haven't been able to hear you quite yet. What? Oh, good. Okay. There's also a little bit of a lag in your camera for some reason, which is odd. It's like you say something and then I see your lips move before I hear you. But this is the future. We're living in the future. Technical difficulties is part of it. I want to talk about your new album. It's so good. I am in love with it. I have listened to it probably like 30 times. And I think it hit me at a moment when I'm like less and less interested in Midwest emo, and you kind of just break that genre apart on the album and bring in jazz, bring in more music school ideas of composition, and all sorts of other influences, some definite punk sounds. So I don't even know where to start on this album, honestly. I guess let's talk about the future. What does the future of Really From look like? What are you all excited about in the rest of 2021 and coming into 2022?
Together and trying to hear what this music's going to sound like live, because this was recorded during COVID. We didn't really think about what the live set would be. We were just focused on making it the best sounding album as possible. So I think that is the current focus on us. I don't know what far future will bring. I'm always stuck on the present, but I think that's the thing that we're really looking forward to now, is how to like execute these songs in a live performance.
This album does sound bigger. I think Verse was one of you, I think it might have been you, Sai, at one point told me that you purposefully mixed the bass very low in that album. And there's so much synth bass on this new album that makes it feel so huge.
So there's a really big running joke amongst us that you can't hear the bass at all on Verse, which is so funny. Yeah, but it was kind of purposeful in the sense that that album, just in general, when we were doing pre-production for it and stuff, and when I was talking to Chris Teddy from The World Is, who recorded it at Silver Bullet Studios in Connecticut, the conversations kind of lent for that album to have more of an airy, like ethereal feel. I feel like that was really poignant for the kind of storytelling that Chris and Michi were doing on that album. It just kind of helped, have this almost like surreal sense to it. With this album specifically, synth bass, synths everywhere, lots of double guitar, lots of stacked trumpet. The vocals are really produced. So it's just, this was kind of, I would say, if this would be going from Late Registration to Graduation, Kanye West records. Graduation being the big like arena rock one, and that's what this album kind of was. Is like the big one.
I can't wait to hear how you all sample Daft Punk on the next record. It's gonna be great.
By that logic, it's gonna eventually go backwards with my dark, but the Twisted Fantasy, and then it goes to Yeezus, where it's just like really, really lo-fi.
Yeah, minimal, very minimal.
Okay, but 808s and Heartbreaks is just Matt's solo trumpet album.
But he's really sad about it.
I love 808, and I was defending 808s in like 2009, 2010, when I don't think a lot of people like that album. It's a shame about Kanye.
Hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay
hopefully
too.
we don't get to where he is now.
Yeah, not really a shame. He's sitting on tens of millions of dollars, right? But yes, I hope he's good and healthy and makes some more cool art, because I do like a lot of his art. I wanted to talk about a couple songs off this record in particular. Michi, I wanted to ask you about Yellow Fever, because it's early in the album. It's hugely confrontational, or it sounds confrontational, but there's so much, and it's a punk song, but I think you approach the subject matter with a lot of grace and a lot of care. And I heard this was a song that took a while to write, and I wanted to hear from you what that process was like, and what, if you decided to cut anything to focus more on, like, you open up the space for conversation with this person who doesn't really deserve it, I don't think. You know?
Yeah. It was a really challenging song to write, and it took a really long time to do it. And I think because, man, it's like, even now that the song is finished, it still in a way feels like my train of thought I don't know, like it's the song is done, but the conversation is not over. And I think that's kind of, I had so much trouble writing the song, because I was like, okay, I am processing this experience. But I don't know, there's a big part of me that wants to shut down the conversation, and a more compassionate side that is saying, well, if you had the opportunity to, would you do things differently? And actually, like you said, yeah, there is like a discourse in my brain that says, like, does this person deserve the opportunity to have a voice in this matter? And I think that's part of the process of the song, and that conversation in myself, and that a lot of the song is just asking a question, and there isn't a conclusion. There's no resolution in myself necessarily, and maybe, yeah. So I don't know if that answers the question, but
I think it does. I think that's a thoughtful answer. I'm not surprised because it's a thoughtful song. I think there are moments in that song and other places on the album where you have this punk rock build that gives way to something more clear-headed than like a breakdown or something like that. And that happens on Yellow Fever, and I think it happens as well on I'm From Here, where you have this build-up and then it stops. And you, Chris, you sing about, I hope I won't let it get to me. I think there's some of that and some of the same kind of musical ideas that work with the lyrical ideas on those two songs, if that makes sense. Was that something you were thinking about, Chris, when you were building it? How to like take these punk rock builds and then just not give that release?
Yeah, partially, yeah. I think it's also one, just being in the practice of trying to smash expectations and trying to like do things differently. That, we've done the break ever, and so many songs have done the breakdown so many times that you want to do something differently. But also it's just like a part of just things I like. I feel like it's just a combination that I just like, I love punk music. I grew up listening to it, but I also like really weird, like minimalists, repetition kind of stuff as well. And I wanted to have a song that doesn't musically on paper doesn't really make sense, but it exists. And that's kind of like the thesis of the album, is that I feel like 120, 200 years ago, people like us wouldn't make sense on paper because the idea of like different multi-ethnic identity wasn't really a thing in the history of the human race. So just the idea that it's so normal now, and it's just like so part of us, it makes sense. I was like talking to my mom the other day, and she was like, yeah, sometimes watching you guys is like looking at the UN. Y'all are just like, it's just very weird for someone who's like grew up on the island or like homogenous communities to see like people from different backgrounds hanging out. It's not really normal for other people, but it is for us.
It is for our generation of Americans, I think. I think something that's so beautiful about this album is that it doesn't speak exclusively to biracial identities or identity in general. I want to ask you, Matt, about In the Spaces, which I think I listened to it, and in that song, Chris, you're singing about your grandma, I think. I read that somewhere. And you were singing those words in a kind of robotic voice at the end of the album, and I was thinking about my own life and how much it feels like robotic. And you sing Cook Some Rice, and I'm on a diet where that's the only starch I'm allowed to eat. And I was like, oh my God, this is so specific to a singular, you were writing about a particular person, but in that moment, that song reached out to me and connected to me in a very, very specific way. And I think there's this idea that biracial people are niche, or like biracial identities are niche, when that's the American identity. Like, your album speaks to all Americans, not just biracial Americans. But Matt, we're a little bit behind, and Sai, I wanted to ask both of you some good, well-researched questions, I promise. But let's just do a quick lightning round.
Sure.
Matt, no, what do you think is going to happen to the music business in the future? Any prophecies or ideas about the future of the music industry, what you see happening?
I mean, I think live shows will come back, but I think the virtual thing has proven to be easy and an accessible way to have a show. So, and I think, yeah, I don't know. I think people have, through the pandemic, gotten their virtual chops together. So I think that will continue to be a thing. I think there will still be like live stream acoustic shows and all that happening in addition to live in-person shows. And I think it'll have an effect on how we collaborate too, bands and artists, I think a lot more remote collaboration will happen and continue to happen.
I hope so. That would be wonderful. Cy and Sander, any ideas or thoughts?
You go first. I think that Spotify and streaming is going to take a nosedive pretty soon.
Yep.
I think that we're kind of, the NFT thing, although it was kind of very cultish and crazy, it allowed for artists to directly profit off their art. So I think that a lot of people are a little bit scared of artists reclaiming the means to monetize their own music.
I think
hope that's what happens.
I think a worker-owned replacement for Spotify could happen in our lifetimes, and I think that's cool as hell. How about you, Sander? Any ideas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think ideally, I think fans of music and artists are craving to, like Cy just said, like really own what they're doing.
Yes.
And be able to actually have a little bit more power back. How that happens, I don't know. But what I do know when I think about live shows now, I know that there's certainly an urgency to, do more live streams, but also to get back to live music. And I feel like, there's the potential for like a renaissance for live music and kind of like a redo on like what that's going to look like and to like really make it something special. I kind of have hopes for live music I think everyone realized how much they miss it. So I'm really hoping there's just something to be done about taking it very seriously. Hopefully people aren't ready to just get back to a gig and go and have a cigarette outside during a band. Hopefully it's, I get to go to a show.
Something new.
I want to be here. I want to be present as much as possible and really engage in it a little bit more than we ever have.
I hope so too. I hope it's more than a social scene. Hope it's more than an arms race. Michi and Chris, anything you'd like to say or anything you'd like to plug before we move on out?
Listen to the record if you haven't listened to it yet. There are still copies of the second pressing on Top Shelf Records. It's limited.
There's like 20 left.
There's 20 left, so please grab it while you still can. We have a podcast every week where we talk to different artists about just stuff like our experiences in music. So please check that out as well.
Your episode with Namdi and your friend, whose name I'm forgetting, unfortunately.
Samuel.
Samuel is so funny. That's one of the funniest podcast episodes.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Great episode. So
I wish I kept recording it. After we stopped recording, we just talked for like another half hour. It was so funny.
That's excellent. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see your faces. I hope we have the opportunity to cross paths this year, and maybe even I'll get to see some of these amazing songs that I love so much in person. I hope. So
you will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harrison.
Thanks, Harrison.
Peace, dude. Thanks.
Bye.
Lightning,
Oh, hello.
Oh,
We
hello.
Are back. I am so sorry to have to do this to you, my fine and wonderful audience, but for the third time in 3 episodes, we have to give you an educational presentation because we need the money. We need funding to qualify for educational funding.
This makes this a community college if we do this.
Yeah. Technically, the alternative is a community college. Technically. For tax purposes.
Right.
And today, to give the presentation, is my good friend and my college roommate here with an embarrassing photo of me from college, Harry Marker. Welcome.
Thank you. And I will say that it is a pretty good picture of you. You look like, you look silly, but you look cool. It's a horrifying picture of me.
You do look like you've dislocated some part of your face.
Well, if you look closely, the side of my glasses that you can see, you can tell there's no arm going to my ear because that was my only pair of glasses, and I had just gotten the only fight of my life and had a metal trash can thrown at my head, and it broke my glasses.
Damn.
So everyone can be equally embarrassed, and Harrison, you can look a little bit like Liam Gallagher.
I am glad that you are here to embarrass yourself as well as me. So
Of
glad.
course.
And I'm glad your glasses are fixed. I'm glad your
Thank
glasses
you.
are looking good now. Let's take a look at this educational presentation. What do you say?
Yeah, so I had to step in, of course, because Professor Mike, for the 3rd time, was not able to make it. So happy to be able to assist again.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
If I can edit and present at the same time. Let's see if I can do all of this at once. I have the power. Cool. Looks good to me.
All right. Oh. The Future in You, a guide to the future of the human race brought to you by... It says brought to you by Professor Mike, PhDs.
That seems inappropriate.
A, it's a little gross. B, it sounds like it's legitimately brought to you by me, Harrison's college roommate, Harry Marker. I'll also note, before we move to the next slide, he lists his age as 57. In the second stream we did, he was 44. So, not sure if that was maybe 13 years old and he just pulled it back up, or if he's aged very quickly. But
we are
I'm sure
living
we'd
in
all
the future, so...
there you go. Maybe this is written in the future. We don't know.
To Professor Mike, PhDs, time is an illusion. Time is a flat circle.
Well, he'd know better than us. So let's see what he brought for us this time.
To teach us about the future. Let's find out.
So, the year is, it's 2021. Oh, no, it is created by the Mayans each time the Earth goes around the sun. Well, yeah, okay. So, I don't think the Mayans invented the year, but it is
pretty sure they
certainly...
did.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. There's the planets, there's the sun. Riddle it out, I guess. It's impossible to know exactly what the year is, but it might be 2021, I guess, is the conclusion there.
It's possible to know exactly,
next.
but if we have to guess.
If we have to guess, which we do, 2021. Now, an intro to the future. The future is all of the following. What do we have? Unexpected. No one knows what's coming. That's true. I don't disagree with that. Emotional. When we do know, it makes us sad. I guess if you could tell the future, you would be sad. So I buy into that a little bit, sure. And it's fun. Christmas and birthdays happen each year. That is fun.
Sad and fun. Much like emo music.
Yeah, and life. So how can you best prepare for the future? We're all asking ourselves the same question here, let's be honest. So here's a couple ways you can prepare yourself for the future. A tip. The tips are generated by experts who he knows and he trusts.
It's not very convincing, unfortunately.
It's not. The quotation marks really make me less confident. But let's find out how we can best prepare for the future. I'm sure there's some very useful tips with your own doomsday bunker. Okay, that is certainly a tip.
That's one way to do it.
I suppose if you are worried about doomsday, remember that Professor Mike is not an expert, but other people tell him he is. Well, all right.
I think whoever made this presentation wants you to say the sentence, Harry.
Oh, well then
In the first
remember,
person.
I'm not an expert, but other people tell me that I am.
Thank you. I don't think the person who made the presentation wanted you to say that, but I did.
No, me neither. Thanks for that. So Doomsday, what is it? By the end of this section, your audience should be Oh, this seems like a note for the presenter. What? What the hell are we going to do? Not really an answer to what Doomsday is, but who? The last remaining survivors on Earth. Okay.
We can all be
well,
there.
for now, that's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
But look, folks, meet Charlie. He did not prepare for the inevitable. He loved soccer, but soccer was no help in the new world.
Soccer did not love him.
Yeah, if only he had prepared, like
who?
Xander.
Xander.
He seems ready.
Yeah.
He seems like he has some
prepared.
skills. He knows how to make his own linen clothes, a broom. He invited Professor Mike into his bunker. He was fully stocked with helpful items, such as rations, great. Board games he created himself. Oh, that's fun, Xander. And a manifesto of all his thoughts, hopes, and dreams. Do you think Professor Mike thinks Doomsday already happened?
It's possible.
Story is true. I have a friend. Okay, Professor Mike. Ready to brag.
I'm not sure about that one.
I'm also not sure. So you may ask yourself, while you're languishing in black and white, why me? Well, don't ask yourself out loud. People will think you're crazy. Seems.
Like
who's that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A young woman. A very.
Well, so why you? Well, according to the prophecy handed down to Xander, we are all imperfect in the following ways. We're slaves to modern technology. That's true, Xander. We're unable to see the big picture. I still agree with Xander. And we never took Xander's. Well, okay.
Maybe we should have.
I feel like I am taking Xander seriously.
now we're
His
taking
first 2 points were very good.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm on board with all of those imperfections.
Yeah, Xander is not too far off the mark so far. The Google Translate.
What the fuck is this? What is this sample slide? I don't understand what the sample slide is. And it makes me
It
so
has
upset.
to mean something because Professor Mike has included it
in
every presentation that we've done. I guess we'll never know. Okay, we do know exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, we figured
he
it
needs
out.
to Google how to keep that slide from appearing. Remove the slide in slide. Oh, I think. Oh, no, he thinks this is Google.
This is kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, it's no surprise that right now you're confused. Confusion is just stupidity leaving the body, and you can learn that from The Guardian.
My favorite news publication that's real.
Yeah. Okay, so some milestones. Once Doomsday comes, it seems like, before you move forward, he's implying that it happened in 2014, which means Professor Mike has been living in a bunker with Xander for a while.
I did not realize that. Yeah, I think they may have misjudged date and time.
Yeah, it's good that they have Wi-Fi, though.
Yeah, they can come out. Somehow they emailed this to me.
Yeah.
Somebody
Well,
should-
day one, find a friend. The friend can help with hunting and gathering. I guess like Xander is probably his friend who does that. Day two, which seems to be a year later in 2015, so it's a long spread between day one and day two. But start a shelter, come up with a fun name like the Hideaway, or the Fun House. Okay, that's cool, that works. Day three, betray your friend as supplies have run low. Okay.
This got
Day four,
bleak very quickly.
yeah. Say hello to your new life as a true survivor. Okay. I hope Xander's okay.
I hope Xander's okay too. The thing is, yeah, I hope he wasn't eaten alive or something.
Yeah. Well, Wendy Ryder, I think we had a quote from Wendy Ryder on the present as well.
Every episode.
But with this information, I'm as prepared as I'll ever be. Great. Ronnie Reader says, you're scaring my children. Well, maybe our children should be scared. It's a bleak future in front of us. And Xander says, follow me and be saved. I'm no longer convinced that Xander is a separate person from Professor Mike. I think it could be two separate...
Wow, I don't know. That sounds like a conspiracy theory to me. That's some
I love a
QAnon
good
bullshit.
conspiracy theory. Well, do you know a second language? Good for you. Stop trying to show off. Good luck. Listen, the future can be scary, but with the advice given in this presentation, you are as prepared for the unknown as Professor Mike is. For more information on the future, contact Xander by leaving an offering of nuts and berries in your local forest. I would say that being as prepared for the future as Professor Mike is maybe not a great place to be. You might want to be a bit more prepared than he is.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I learned a lot from that presentation, unfortunately.
No. I feel like all I learned is that Xander has some good ideas, but maybe just not the best execution.
Maybe I should stop asking Professor Mike Double D's to give the presentations, since he can't ever make it because he's in a bunker.
Yeah. Also, wouldn't it be Dr. Mike? Dr. Professor Mike?
Dr. Professor Mike.
Professor Dr. Mike?
Harry, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
These events, a lot of fun for me. You've really contributed to the enjoyment level for me.
Well, as long as it's helping you.
That was, yeah.
And the audience is, of course, as always in my comedic career, secondary.
See, this is my last event with the alternative, and I haven't even looked at the chat. Like, I don't care. It's great.
Well, I was
It's great
looking at
not
it
to care.
before. Well, I think you should have been looking at it because I think some people couldn't hear you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, probably
what
should have
are,
looked.
Do we have time for some quick questions? Oh, I just pulled up the chat. There's no questions. Oh, wait, somebody wants to know if they get college credit for watching, and the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Send me a postcard, Boston, Mass. 02042, Zoom, and I will get you a college credit. And thank you for watching.
Yeah, college credit. Send a blank check to that address.
A self-addressed, SASE, self-addressed stamped envelope. We'll get that college credit right over to you.
Anything you want to shout out before we head out, Harry?
I want to give a quick shout out to Alex Tracy.
Yes.
Good friend of Professor Mike, and also possibly the identity behind Professor Mike, who created these slideshows for us. I'm on Twitter, I guess. I don't tweet, so don't look too hard into that. And I am a performer at the Magnet Theater in New York City doing musical improv. We've been closed for the last year, but we're about to start doing, hopefully in the relative future, some shows in the theater being live streamed. So if you're a fan of improv and a fan of musicals, let me interest you in musical improv. You can go to magnettheater.com to find out more. I'm on a team called Wonderland there.
Magnettheater.com, a show called Wonderland, may return in live streaming form soon. So glad to hear it. I will be tuning in for sure. Harry?
I don't believe you.
I want to. I want to see it.
Right? I'll send you the link. I will check in with you and ask you pop quiz questions to make sure.
Okay, now I have a test for my college credit. I'm going to have to take a pop quiz about this. Thank you so much, Harry. Love you lots.
One last shout out to the greatest band of the mid-2000s, The Curators.
The Curators.
Performing live in your dorm building until 10 o'clock when quiet hours start.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I'm quiet.
Yeah, a little bit. We are back here with members of Dikembe. Thank you for being here. David and Steve, how you doing?
Doing all right.
I'm good. I'm all right. I'm all right.
I wanted to include you in part because I'm pretty sure you're Henderson's favorite band in the world. So, and it seems like you all have had a long relationship with the alternative. Is that right?
Yeah, it's I was actually thinking about this today. I was just like I remember when I was just like there's this site that keeps tweeting about us and they're super nice. And then like ever since then just I don't know, you guys have been like the site that like gets it. So that's been really awesome. Kind of since like day one, I feel like.
I think it helps that everybody involved is just a big fan of music. I think that's what makes it work great. This is a future themed event, my going away event. And so I wanted to pick your brains since I feel like you all have been making music for close to a decade now, right? As a band?
Decade.
Yeah. Just had a 10th,
Yeah.
Was that the 10th anniversary show for Chicago Bulls that I saw?
The show, yeah.
Show, gig. I think you're in a good position to take some guesses as to the future of pop and rock music. Any insights, any prophecies, anything you hope will come true? What do you think?
All right. I had a dumb one and
Okay.
then David had a good one. I'll do the dumb one first. Ready?
Sounds great.
All right. I'm gonna say ninth wave, right? K-pop influence, right? We're doing Blackpink Parade. Like that's what it is.
I can't wait. That's like extremely my vibe. That's going to sell so well in Hot Topic.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. I know, dude. I work with fucking 13-year-olds all day. I know exactly what
Got a
sells,
finger on the
dude.
pulse.
Yeah, dude. Finger on the pulse. All right, David's got an actual good one. Like we were all fucking trying to figure one out and joke around. David came up with an actual good one.
What's your good one? What is it?
Actually, I think now instead of saying 10, I think it's actually going to be within 5 years. I'm pretty sure something's going to happen in the legal realm where it's going to be revealed that like some song was actually created and written and recorded and put out on the internet by like a machine learning AI system. Maybe it won't be like a whole thing. Maybe a producer will use that to write a song. But I feel like within 5 years, we're going to read about some crazy ass shit where it's like basically some AI system wrote like one of the top songs from last week and they don't know how to credit the machine and they don't know how many, you know, copyright, you know, how much copyright stuff like actually can be applied to something like AI.
Yep.
So it's going to be, I think that's going to happen within 5 years, I think, because right now machine learning is expanding at like a ridiculous pace.
I think you're 100% right. I saw in the last 3 or 4 months that a computer got signed to make noises that are good for when you sleep to a 12 album deal. And I'm like, why can't real humans I know sign a 12 album deal? Like, what the hell? This computer is kicking our asses in the industry right now. So I think you're right. I think once AI and procedurally generated stuff is going to become more and more common, it's going to create some havoc in copyright. I think you're totally right. Did you have a goofy one after that? A goofy suggestion after such a serious suggestion?
Dude, he didn't. If he does, he didn't tell us, and now I'm really excited. Oh,
There's funny about the future.
Nothing funny about the future. The future is not fun. You heard it here. Future's not funny. It's serious.
Joking around,
Only
guys.
serious things. What does the future of Dikembe look like? Is there anything on the horizon that you're excited to talk about?
We have something really cool coming up that I don't think
you're not supposed to announce.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. The world is weird.
Cool.
I don't know.
But
We're
are you-
look. I mean, we've got stuff coming out. Video stuff and an EP of sorts coming out. But we're really just looking forward to like seeing each other again.
Yeah, like at this point, it's like
That's what we're looking forward to. In the
these guys have been my dudes for like over a decade now. It's like I'm ready to hang out. I like music is cool and everything, but like I need to hug one of these guys.
Hugs are important. Can't wait for hugs.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. Seeing bandmates in person. I'm going to have a band practice for the first time in like 15 months this week, which I'm very, very excited about.
Wow.
Are you hoping to be playing shows again? Are there any tentative local shows, maybe? Backyard
So,
gigs? What does the process look like?
Randy moved to Michigan, so we're
There's no
it's
local
different.
shows.
No local shows.
Not yet.
I don't know. As soon as it's safe and everybody's comfortable, I think that this whole thing has sort of opened the door for the idea. I mean, like, look at right now, like you guys are doing a variety show. This has been fun as hell. Like, and I mean, like, some streams are really fucking cool. Like, it's just like, I don't know. There's been like the door's been like the lid's been fucking blown off.
Yep.
And like if we have to wait a little bit longer to like, everybody get in the same room and like enjoy the music the way we like used to, then it's gonna be incredible when that happens. But until it does, like there's all kinds of cool shit happening as well. So I guess we'll play shows when it's okay to play shows.
Yeah, I totally get that. And I totally understand some bands and some people just aren't going to be. I think this summer there's going to be a lot of outdoor acoustic gigs. And
yeah,
it's going to be something of a bummer for people who want to mosh,
Yeah. But then but all that's doing is like the people who really want to mosh when they get the chance to do so, like, it's gonna be like some invincible level fucking violence, dude. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so cool.
I can't wait to see the pit go crazy to All Got Sick at some point. Looking forward to it. Anything you? Oh, we got one question from the chat, which is, what's Dikembe's favorite underrated or underappreciated musician? I'm sure you have a full list, but if you could name one or a couple underappreciated or
underrated, underappreciated. David, you go. Give a good answer. You're good at stuff.
I don't have a good answer for that. I gotta think about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's a big okay. Underappreciated. Let's think about bands that
you should just say yourselves.
No. I think I don't know if it's underappreciated, but the new Harmony Woods record is like,
it's very good.
Like beyond, like it's I don't know, man. I very, very rarely do I like emotionally attached to a record real quickly, and that's like one of the ones that, like, I don't know, like I don't know. And I guess I don't know if that's underrated or like they're like, I don't know. I love that record, and I wish that they were like the biggest band on earth. That would be incredible.
That could be cool. That whole album is excellent, but the 3 tracks at the end particularly are so good. That album's finish is so strong. Yeah, can't wait to see them live. It's also unexpected because you're a Florida band and pretty heavy, and Harmony Woods is pretty heavy. This record particularly is pretty heavy, but it's not like post-hardcore, you know?
I found myself like, I guess like whatever like art I'm listening, I don't know, whatever I'm like, I don't know, video games, like the beginner's guide I played recently, and I loved it because like it was, I don't know, I like cried. And like watching movies with my daughter, like I don't know, man, there's something about like emotional connections that's like, so it transcends like genre. Like, who gives a fuck like what it sounds like if like it makes this like, I don't know, very odd connection.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
a very personal but so different connection. I totally understand
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
that. Cool. Well, I think this is the time we say goodbye and we head off in different directions into the future. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing that video game interview with me many moons ago.
That was super sick.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was super fun. So I'm glad you guys agreed to that, especially on short notice. That was wonderful.
Yeah, but it was super cool. It was awesome. Thank you for having us. And I mean, dude, thank you for everything.
No, thank you for your music. You're not allowed to thank me. I'm the host. That's what I'm supposed to do. All right. See y'all next time. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Later.
See ya.
With Julia.
Are we live? give me a
here to give my thoughts on the future of the human race.
I'm here to give my thoughts on the future of the human race.
Make sure that there's nothing wrong on my end.
I don't know why the audio cut out.
Oh no,
now it says you're muted.
Make sure that there's nothing wrong on my end.
On Zoom it says you're muted.
Or anything.
Oh no, now it says you're muted. This is some big brain shit the way you got this organized. On Zoom it says you're muted. This is some big brain shit the way you got this organized.
Hello.
I'm sorry if I'm screwing up your whole system.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh no.
I'm sorry if I'm screwing up your whole system. I am
No.
anymore. I was getting a very small one.
This is going to be
Am I doing this
very
right?
odd,
Should I change
and
the
I just
view
want to
on
make sure
my
the
end?
audience isn't getting an echo because I'm getting an echo.
I am not anymore. I was getting a very small one. Am I doing
No,
this
this is
right?
great.
Should I change the view on my end?
No, this is perfect. The only thing is, I want audio to come through my phone. I'm hearing an echo. Okay, cool. Here's what we're
Only
gonna
us, baby. Just the two
do.
of
We're going
us.
to turn my speaker off, so I don't hear an echo, and then hopefully the audience should be able to hear
Where's your
only
dope,
us.
What happened to your dope green Only us, baby. Just the two of us. Oh dear. I don't know.
You should, I wonder if
thought
I
I
can
had followed
hide
the
myself.
instructions, but I must
This
not.
is fine.
What happened
There's
to
just
your dope
15
green
versions
screen?
of each of us.
Oh dear. I don't know. I thought I had followed the instructions, but I must not have.
No, this is new technology for me. The issue is that
Yeah.
if I hear you coming through my computer, the audience will
Hello,
hear
how's it
you
going?
twice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Got it.
Well, hello.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. It's going kind of
crushing it.
weird.
I've
Trying
really been
some new
enjoying
tech.
this live stream.
I'm sure
It's
this
a
is weird
great
for the
variety
audience,
of people,
but I'm glad
true
to be here
variety
with
show,
you. And
it's given me a lot to think about what's
I've
next.
really been
I've
enjoying
enjoying
this
this live stream. It's a great variety of people, true variety show.
Who knows?
And it's given me a lot to think about what's next for all of us.
about the future of Ratboys. Excellent.
Who knows? Is it
God,
really?
this is weird. Okay, cool.
It's really bad. For
I
you.
wanted
I'm
to ask
sorry.
you
I can't. It's
about
not
your new
I don't hear it.
album.
If that makes you feel any better.
Gosh. I'm
Is it
getting
really-
an echo and it's very disorienting.
It's really
Dude,
bad for you. I'm
suss it
sorry.
out.
I can't,
I'm in no
it's not-
rush.
and I think everyone in the
hear
chat is just hanging. If that makes you feel any
You know?
better. Like what else?
Let
what
me
else are we doing? We're
see.
just chilling.
So
Dude, suss
We're
it
watching
out.
our
I'm in
Sunday
no
night.
rush. And I think everyone in the chat is just hanging.
Cool.
You know? Like what else? What else are we doing? We're just chilling. We're watching our Sunday night.
let's just do this. What do you say? I think this will be better.
Cool.
The problem is
Huh.
I can't hear you now. That's the thing.
We're out here.
Wait.
I will try to
There's gonna be a
anticipate
delay if I hear
the
you now.
delay. I'll try to like make up for it somehow.
Adventures in live broadcasting, you
can.
know?
We're out here. I will try to anticipate the delay. I'll try to like make up for it somehow. If I can.
Okay, cool. Now I get it. Wait, no. Oh, there's two. That's why. Now there's.
Hello. Okay. Dude, this is trippy. I'm glad I didn't take a single puff of weed. I was thinking about maybe doing a single puff, but I didn't. I would have been freaking out. No worries. Okay. Okay. Is there anything I can do on my end? I feel like I thought I did everything like you asked, but maybe I didn't. Uh, I hate to tell you, I don't know anything about Zoom really. I have somehow kind of skirted using Zoom this whole pandemic. I've gotten out of using Zoom a few times. So I don't know how it works. Cuz yeah, it is hard to mix audio in Zoom. It's like not equipped for that.
Exactly,
So-
yeah. So this whole
Yeah.
roundabout way was hoping to get around the Zoom issue. And I think
Feel you.
hopefully now the audience has pretty good audio of you and your guitar. Now, when we play the song, we'll switch to Twitch. How's that? And for now,
Okay. Whatever. I'll follow your lead.
Cool.
Just tell me what to do. I'll do it.
it wouldn't be an awesome variety stream without some technical errors. So thank you. Thank you for
Dude, I
your
feel
patience.
you. Trust me. I have been there. Been exactly where we are.
You've been doing the digital shows for like 8 months now, right? At least.
Yeah. Yep. It's been really fun. It's been a totally like a huge learning experience and kind of just fun to like dive into something that we literally had no experience in, you know, like
Yeah.
learning something completely from scratch. I'm sure you feel the same way. Unless did you have experience in this before?
I did. I live streamed video games for up to like 5 years, but
Oh shit, that's awesome.
when you're plugging in a mic and playing Hearthstone, that's very different than working with bands. And I'm sure you found out very quickly that audio is very difficult when it comes to live streaming for whatever reason.
Yeah, for real. And Dave actually is kind of the guy. He does that for us down here, and I still don't fully understand everything that he's doing. So I'm just grateful that he has taken the plunge in a real way. But it's pretty crazy. Especially we've started recently playing with the whole band down here.
Yeah.
So like miking everything up and balancing it and making sure shit doesn't sound completely awful is a challenge, but it's been really fun.
It sounds great every time I tune in. And it seems like you've got the drum mic set up and everything now. It was you started out just 2 guitars, right?
Yeah, totally. Because back at the beginning when we started the show, we were like isolating. Marcus, wasn't in our household, and so we were kind of not able to see him for a few months. So yeah, it started out just like acoustic, just me and Dave, and then eventually when we started we brought Marcus back into our pod, we were able to bring him in and have him. Originally he was playing tambourine and it was really chill, but then we were like, why wouldn't we just like go for it? So it's been, and now we all got our shots, so we're like hanging out, we're good. But yeah, it's been a crazy time.
What advice would you give to people who want to start live streaming? Because I think you, by far, in my opinion, you all have been the most successful band to use the format. I think you have been doing something cool and creative with it. I think it fits you and your personality. It has been so fun to watch, especially because live streaming is just white dudes playing video games right now most of the time. So
totally. Yeah, for sure. That's really kind of you to say. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest thing for me was just embracing like the chaos of everything, like going into it, not that you shouldn't take yourself seriously, but it's kind of nice to go into it with very low expectations and just going into it to have fun and like hang out with people is pretty much that was our goal. We didn't have any goals as far as like how many people we were hoping would watch or like making money in any way. It was all just like, we can't hang out with our friends in person, so it'd be awesome if we could have some sort of like digital communication or community to lean on. And so I hope that anyone watching it got something out of it, but selfishly I feel like we got more out of it than anyone watching. Like it has seriously been such a like sustaining, like it gives me hope each time we go live that we get to like talk to people. It rules.
Hell yeah. I love to see it. Do you think you'll continue it even when touring comes back in some form? You have the knowledge now, the OBS and the live streaming knowledge.
Yeah, dude, we've talked about that. I think like in the next few weeks, we're probably gonna not take a step back from it in any way, but speaking of the future, we're like working on demos and like trying to write more songs. And so we're kind of very focused on doing that. So when touring comes back, the idea for us is like I feel like these shows are like so different from like in-person live shows that they're not a replacement in any way. It's more like a supplement. So I think it'd be fun to continue doing stuff like this even when we're playing in-person shows again, because like you can't like having a guest on like we're doing now, like having a conversation with someone across the country, that's not necessarily something you can do at a in-person show. So like there are things you can do in this format that are different like than you could do in touring traditionally. So I would love to keep doing this like in between tours and just whenever the occasion calls,
Yeah, hell yeah. That's excellent. I'm so excited. It means I get to see more Ratboys sitting on my couch, which is always great.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to ask really quickly about your new album. I'm sure you've talked in other interviews about how it felt to re-record these songs, re-record that first EP. But now that you're done with the 10th anniversary show, how do you feel having made that a whole nother record in quarantine, re-recording just like Japanese Breakfast and Taylor Swift, and then coming out on the other end? How do you feel now?
Yeah, God, we feel really great. I'm just so stoked that we had like the time and space to devote to this, because we were talking about it. Like we always knew we wanted to do something to like mark 10 years. I'm just really obsessed with numbers. Like these big anniversaries just like make me feel so like emotional and like proud and happy and everything. So like it, in a self-serving way, whatever. But we always knew we wanted to like maybe do a physical release because we had never released those songs. But then when COVID happened, we were like, oh, we like have time. We could like re-record these songs and make them sound like we sound now. So that was like a totally like weirdly affirming experience. I was worried that I might like not like the songs anymore or like find them cringy or something, but I was actually like pretty stoked on how well they held up relatively to my expectations. So
I
it
had
was
not
fun.
heard the EP until this record, and I had a reason to go back and listen, and I was so surprised by how similar they sound. One of my favorite songs on the new album, the Annie the Oldest Cat, the re-recorded version sounds so similar and still experimental and vibey as the 10-year ago version, and I think that's so cool.
Hell yeah, thanks. The main difference in that one is we accidentally like record it in a different key. I didn't realize. I guess I just didn't know what key it was in. But yeah, we like didn't really change up the structure that much to most of them. Like pretty much all of them, the structure stayed very similar, except maybe we like changed the ending or something. Because back then we like did not know how to end songs. That was like our Achilles heel. So if you listen to the EP, all the songs kind of end like blah blah blah, like chaos. It's a mess. But yeah, so yeah, you're right though. There's a through line hopefully where we didn't like mess too much with the original ideas, because like I said, I think the original ideas were like kind of surprisingly good for us being 18 and not knowing what we were doing at all. So.
I don't think many 18-year-olds write songs that good. The bones are there. The bones are so strong, and it's cool to see the transformation though.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, since it's future themed, maybe you can answer this question, and then you have a song to play, and we'll call it an evening.
Sounds
Excellent. Good. Any guesses as to the future of pop and rock music? It's funny because I don't think most artists really are invested in like hitting that cultural gold. A lot of artists I know just make the music they want to make, and I think that's true of Ratboys. But what do you think is going to happen in pop and rock music, and do you have any desire to follow that trend?
It's a great question. I have a feeling that, and that doesn't have as much to do with the music, but like physical formats, I have a feeling that CDs are going to kind of experience a renaissance like vinyl currently is. I like went to my cousin's baby shower last weekend, and I gave her a CD of like some lullabies, and she's like, "This is great. I just don't even have a CD player." And I was like, "Oh, like shit." So, but she's like, "I'll hand it down to, my future daughter, and someday when she's our age, that'll be like the hip thing, like a vintage CD or whatever." So I could see that happening. Like I personally fucking love CDs. They're like so portable, and if you have like, they sound good, so, and you could do cool stuff with the art. You can do like really cool stuff with like fold out posters.
I feel like the per unit cost is getting closer and closer to tapes, and tapes have never died. So I could totally see that happen.
Hell yeah. I hope they come back.
CD Renaissance, prophesized by Julia of Ratboys. I'm going to switch on over to the thing that sounds good for music, and you can set up the song and then play it, and then we should be good to go.
Sweet. Just will I need a cue from you?
I think I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Here we go.
We'll
there we go.
figure it out.
There we go. I think.
Figure it out on the fly, baby. Also, I wanted to mention one other thing about the future.
Yes.
I was listening to Dikembe's like hopes, or was it predictions?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really hope that like in the next 5 years. Oh yeah, they were talking about like AI generated music. God, that is fucking scary. But I do agree that will happen in the next 5 years. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to like unzip zip files on our phone in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous that you still can't do that on your phone. Like open a zip file. Files on our phone 2021 in 5 years. So, you know what I mean? Like that would be great. It's maybe by 2027, 2026 that'll open a zip file that will exist. Fucking anyway, so am I good to go? Am I good to maybe by 2027, 2026?
You should be good if you can hear me. Hopefully.
That will exist. Anyway,
you are good to go. I think we have it switched over to the good audio.
Oh God, the host. I've been muted.
You are good to go. I think we have it switched over to the good audio.
Okay, we're good. So I'm muted on Zoom, but I'm good elsewhere.
Yep.
I assume that's what's going on.
Yeah, you should be good for the audience.
Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of water, and then this song is pretty short. Okay, so This song.
Yeah,
is
you
called...
should be good for the audience.
Okay, sick. The song is called Morning Zoo. It's a little folk ditty. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I look myself in the eye. I wake up every morning. I kill my thoughts with a knife, then blow a kiss to the silence. But how long does it take to find the peace that I wanted? How long must I wait to decide that it's over? Well, I don't know. The morning zoo is alive, but I just keep getting smaller. It's my decision to lie, to settle down by the fire. And how long does it take to find the peace that I wanted? How long must I wait to decide that it's over? Well, I don't know. Talk to myself all the time, waiting on the long train. The devil's right behind, stuck in the passing lane. But how long does it take to find the peace that I wanted? How long must I wait to decide that it's over and done? And how long does it take to find the peace that I wanted? How long must I wait to decide that it's over? Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I got a piece of the pie. I could say when if I wanted. It's an alien. It's an alien. It's an alien. It's an Some stray cat came through the backyard. Must have climbed up some fences. You'll pick him up off the ground and you hold him in your arms and you kiss him on the head and you tell him he's a lucky boy. Pick him up off the ground and you hold him in your arms and
him on the head and you tell him he's a lucky little calico. Don't go. You're not gonna leave him alone. 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 Oh no. She lost her mind in a subprime home, left her heart in a Kodachrome. Lost her mind in a subprime home, left her heart in a Kodachrome. Na 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 na, yeah. Na 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 na, oh. Na 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 na.
Hello and welcome back. That's it. That's the show. We got one final thing for you. I want to thank Harry Marker. I want to thank his friend Alex, who made the educational presentations. I want to thank my amazing partner, Yemi. I want to thank our video editors, Tyler Holland, Drew Klaus, and John Paul Zignerman. Okay. 15 months. We've been doing a weekly show. It's been great. I am so grateful. This episode is dedicated to Leadbelly, born Huddy Ledbetter, but his gravestone reads Leadbelly. I started playing this song. Well, first of all, I can't imagine much about the future. I think a lot of things are uncertain, but I know as long as there's people, there will be music for sure. And as a famous billboard in Pittsburgh said, there are black people in the future. I started playing this song on Twitch to avoid the copyright bots, but when we switched to YouTube, the copyright bots found it. For some reason, though, I don't think Leadbelly's family is getting that money. It's not how copyright works most of the time. Every single great contribution to music that came from the United States, jazz, pop, hip-hop, R&B, rap, punk, rock, all this stuff was invented, innovated, and popularized by black people and other non-white people. We need reparations in this country. We need reparations now. And I don't mean the kind of reparations where poor people donate to other poor people on Patreon and Kickstarter and stuff, though that is good. I mean the kind of reparations where we take money from the obscenely rich and give it to people who deserve it. The song is for Leadbelly. And it's Good Night, Irene. Let me fix the camera real quick. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. Sometimes I take a great notion to jump in the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night. One more time.